I travel here and then I travel yonder. Well, I travel here and then I travel yonder. Well, I travel here and then I travel yonder. Well, I've been a traveling. I've traveled cold and then I've traveled hungry. Well, I traveled cold and then I traveled hungry. Well, I traveled cold and then I traveled hungry. Well, I've been a traveling. Traveled in the mountain, traveled down in the valley. Well, I traveled in the mountain, traveled down in the valley. Well, I traveled in the mountain, traveled down in the valley. Well, I've been a traveling.
If you would describe Saul as a professional agitator, what would your reaction be to that description?
That's okay with me. That's what you left out one word, Studs. Professional outside agitator. You see, you got to be an outside agitator to begin with, because agitators very rarely come up from the inside. Because if you come up from the inside, one of two things happens to you. Either you get knocked off, or you get co-opted. That's the reason all agitators are outside agitators. And, you see, when you're out to really get change, every community, every place is organized. When sociologists talk about social disorganization or that communities are disorganized, you know what they're talking about. You can go into the cruddiest community. It's got a policy racket going. It's got a syndicate going. It's got a political organization in there that's crooked as hell. And they're being exploited if it's a company town, but it's organized, you know? It's a contradiction in terms to say that there's such a thing as a disorganized community. So that the job of an agitator is first, if he's going to, it's really not organizing a movement, he's reorganizing it. First he's got to change the whole pattern. He's got to disorganize it. That's why he's an agitator. And after he disorganizes it, then he reorganizes it.
So we're coming to now something. Then this man who enters a community, this man, this outside quote-unquote agitator, has entered a community that is organized to begin with.
That's right.
And organized for what? And why is he there? See, organized for what? The community.
Well, the community is organized on a certain pattern of values. You can call it an exploitation of the many by the few over there. Call it whatever you want to. The organizer brings in another set of values. Now, to say that an organizer comes in who is just in there as sort of a blotter, that he's going in for just participatory democracy. He doesn't have any ideas. He's just going to be a servant to the people, of the masses, so to speak. He will just reflect what they want. It's just a lot of romantic crap. If an organizer doesn't have ideas as to how he wants to change that thing, and more important, if he doesn't have the sophistication and the experience to know how to get it done. See, there's a big difference between the what's that you want to get in life and the how you go about getting it. If you don't know the how about getting it, you're never going to get the what's. I always used to say that if any smart organizer had come up before the Oracle at Delphi, and the Oracle always sounded off with her usual proverbial business of know thyself, you know. A smart organizer would look at her and say, okay, Oracle, now how the hell do I go about doing it? Don't tell me what I have to get. Tell me how to get it, because unless I know the how, the what is just rhetoric, you know. Then I imagine the Oracle would have had a fit, you know. Would have said one question aloud only to a customer or something, get thee gone.
Yep.
That organizer's got to have ideas. If he doesn't have ideas, when he comes in there, if he doesn't know how and what to do, the only thing that his presence does is where the population was say 100,000 before he walked in, it now becomes 100,001. That's all. It doesn't make any difference there. He can only come in on the basis really of an invitation from the community. I go to Houston, I do nothing but to lecture at the University of Houston. I get at the airport, the whole clan is out there in full regalia. The mayor is all over the front page of the newspaper. He's going to investigate the university for inviting this radical down to speak to the university. The John Birch Society's got a mass picket line out there. The next morning, there's a big delegation of blacks inviting me to come in because they'd never seen everybody they hated so uptight. But now, if you haven't got that kind of rep, you got to go about working your way in. And one of the basic things here is whether you really, I should stop and say this, Studs. that this is one field on which you cannot pull a con game or snow job. If you don't like people, they goddamn well soon know it. You know, you can pull a fast job if you're selling a vacuum cleaner or something. You're only going to be with the guy for an hour, or selling him a house or a car. But when you're selling people and working with them, you're working with them for hours, for days, for weeks, for months. Sooner or later, they sense it, you know. So, as long as you respect the dignity of people, then they'll respond to you. Now, that sounds like an old cliche, but as long as I respect you, for example, I can't come to you and say, now, Studs, this is the way you get this thing done, because what I'm really saying to you is, look, you dumb son of a bitch, you've been sitting around here for years, and I got to come along and tell you now, this is the way you get it done. So, naturally, you're going to resent it. You see, freedom of choice, and freedom is part of dignity, is really the right to make the choice. I go into a neighborhood. I run into you. You're on welfare, you know. You're standing on the corner. So we get into a conversation. So I say, where do you live? Over there. Well, where do you expect me to live? I'm on relief. Well, what do you want me to live in, a 14-karat gold palace, you know? No, but Jesus, you pay anything to live there? Oh, come on. Trying to be funny? Well, no, I don't want to be funny about it. Jesus, place looks like it's loaded with rats and cockroaches, everything. You damn well know what it is. What would happen if you didn't pay your rent? What would happen? They'd throw me out my kids and everybody else. What do you mean? Yeah. What would happen if nobody paid their rent over there? Why, well, Jesus, they'd have a little trouble throwing us all out, wouldn't they?